on a screen, so that's messing me up. What's up, Dean? I know I'll probably blow out my voice here. I'm trying to get it back. I've been losing my voice lately, so or it's been a couple weeks. Kind of like last year, I had that 3-week cough, and it was awful. So I think I'm getting it back. I'll give it a test. If I lose it, then I'll just stop the stream. So give me a second. I'm sharing on our Facebook that we're live, and we'll get right into it. All right. So 1 second, guys. What's up, Chris? All right. All right, so we'll get into it here, guys. We're going to build the watch list for tomorrow. What's up, Nadine? That's funny. There we go. YouTube sensation is back. Just kidding. For anybody newbies listening, I do not consider myself a YouTube sensation. But if you consider me one, then I'll take it. All right. So, not liking CASM at the moment. Let me see here. MLCPF. So what we're doing, guys, is when I build a watch list, and Angel's been doing them for a while now for us. She's doing absolutely incredible. So she was kind of taking over the reins, and it'll be a combination of probably me and her moving forward. Also maybe Creed as well. So when we build a watch list, we're trying to find stocks that hold their highs for the day for potential continuation the next day, or if we're going bearish, stocks that are potentially going to fail. We're looking for patterns, again, stocks that are holding their highs, and ideally have room with the moving average lines. Give me 1 second, guys. Of course, when I start this, my throat's getting really off right now, so hold on 1 second. I might have to put a cough drop in while I'm talking to you guys. We'll see. We'll give it a moment here. So I'll show you as I go along what I'm looking for. So not like in CASM or APDN. I avoid high wave candles and stuff that's stuck between moving average lines. I don't like this. Now, if this one was closing like up near over in here above a moving average line and has room to run, then I would potentially consider it. But these high wave candles and stuff like that, I just do not like. GSUM. So this is one where I would maybe start to consider it now. So you'll see moving average line starting to kind of cross right over in here, closing above the 50 SMA, and it's right below $3. So it went up and then it pulled back. You can see there was a decent amount of volume right here. So this is when I would start to maybe look at. I don't like the pattern here intraday, but many days when something like this happens, you know, the volume comes in, closes above a moving average line. It might have a secondary day or so. So I look at this, I see the moving average lines crossing, price is above a major moving average line. It is below $3, but it may go up and pull back potentially before it maybe gives another shot up. We'll have to we'll take a look and see, and then you'll see right here, the hourly price is above the hourly. It's a little bit messy right now, but this may be pulling a flag here. So you went up. I don't like these high wave. I hate those candles right here, but again, it might have another day to potentially go up. That's why we put it on the watch list. So let me put in my comments here. So we will see. Let's do this. Above. All right. So, decent volume on daily close above 50 SMA. Watch for potential continuation with resistance at $3. So that is the alert. So as you guys can see, closed above the SMA or 50 SMA, might have some room to run. $3. If it can clear $3, it's got some potential room to run. So we'll put GSUM on the watch list. And let's look at the next one here. So ADOM, this is a penny stock, another one that's kind of setting up. Again, we try to give you guys a variety on these. You'll see it's a crappy stock, but again, closed above the 50. It's a penny stock. Moving average lines are crossing. Might have some room to run. I would look, you know, right anywhere below that. Those whole and half dollar amounts are very, very important. So this is one I might put on because maybe it'll give it a pump up. You'll see lots of volume here on the daily. And let's look at the hourly. Yeah, so this one may be setting up to possible bull pennant. Again, I'd look at 50 cents as the next level of resistance. So we try to put a mixture of stocks on, you know, penny stocks, some higher ones. So right here I'll put, let's see here. Lots of volume on daily. Watch for potential continuation with resistance around 50 cents. So you could say, you know, why are you putting on there if this thing can only run maybe 15 cents or so potentially to resistance? Because it's also a penny stock at 30 cents. So again, just because an alert goes off, again, that doesn't mean go and buy it. Read our trade alerts page to see how our alerts work. But, you know, again, since it's so cheap right over here, you could, you know, buy, let's say you bought 10,000 shares of ADOM. Again, we're not saying go do that, but just for instance, if you had 10,000 shares and this thing went up from 33 cents to 43 cents and you made 10 cents, that's a way to, you know, make potentially $1,000. Again, it's not as easy as simple as that, but you know, that's the theory of why we'll kind of mix in these penny stocks with some higher ones, because if you know what you're doing, how to trade, and you can scalp 5-10 cents on them, it's a way to make some good money. So, Trillion Trader says, hey guys, I'm new here. Do you post the watch list somewhere afterwards? If yes, where? All right, so great question. I'll show you right over here. So welcome to the community. And of course, I'm down a screen, so that's messing up what I want to show you guys. So I'll move one over. So if you go over to our website over here, bullishbears.com, you will see right under trading, you'll see watch list. This is where we post the watch list here. And if you are a member, you would just log in right up over here, and then you'll see the trading alerts that we are doing right now. So the alerts that I'm showing you guys on here, we post every night on our website right under on trade alerts. So you would just log in right over here. Actually, I'm already logged in, so I'll just show you trade alerts. Right over here, you'll see when the date changes. You click on it, and you'll see the alerts, and you'll see the Thinkorswim import links right over here. So that's where the trading alerts are, and you'll see right over here for watch list right down over in here. So we post this stuff every night for you guys, so you can just go over to our website and just, you know, click on trade alerts, watch list. You'll get all that good stuff. Watch lists are free to everybody, and then trade alerts are for members only. Yeah, as you guys will see, you know, we go through this process every single night, stock by stock by stock, try to build a watch list here and the swing trade watch list. So, you know, you could do it all on your own and, you know, spend 45 minutes to an hour every day doing it, or have us do it for you. And just that alone, that cuts out a lot of the work. So, you know, if you save yourself an hour a night, you know, and we do the watch list and the alerts for you, it teaches you how to trade and what to look for, and also saves you a lot of time of having to build the watch list yourself. So hopefully it helps you guys. All right. Thanks, Magic 8 Ball. I'm trying to push through with my voice here. It feels like it's fading, but I'll get through at least the daily watch list. Not like in this one. It's kind of double topping here, so this is something I don't really like. It is above the moving average lines. Does have a lot of volume, although, yeah, I'm just not really digging that one. Does kind of have cup and handle-ish, but it's really messy right now, so I'm not like it. What else we got here? CRMD. Now, CRMD is one that was on the watch list from yesterday, so it did. That was a nice one. That moved up pretty nice from yesterday. Actually, let me make sure. Look at this. See that? Lucia did the watch list. They all triggered. Do you guys see that? Every single alert triggered from our watch list last night. And you'll see CRMD at or above $2.13. Go over here to CRMD, and that one went all the way up to $2.72 today. So that's a perfect example, guys, of our watch list. Again, not saying you're going to catch the entire move, but you know, right here we're looking at this in the trade room earlier when this broke out of that that ascending triangle right over in here, right over here. You know, when that went up to 223, you know, that thing went up to, you know, 240. That's another 17 cents if you scalp 10 or 15 cents out of that before it fell back down, consolidated, and then you had a high a day break right over in here from 240, and that thing just went all the way up to, you know, you would have probably gotten scared out probably right in here. So 240 to 258 area. It's another, you know, even if you scalped another 10 or 15 cents, this is one for an example off the watch list. So you get a scalp for 10 cents in here earlier, and then safer, even made it right over in here, maybe here. You could see kind of the cup and handle-ish when it fell right down here, maybe taking a position down here or waited for a high day break and scalped another 10 or 15 cents. You know, that's the way to do it, guys. You're not trying to hit home runs. So am I going to put this one on? Again, maybe not. Let me see. So you can see kind of a bigger overall cup and handle. It's a bit overextended. So this is one of those ones that can kind of go either way. It's a little bit overextended. It might have another run up again. There is room for this to run. I normally don't like to put that on, but you'll see it had a breakout, and it might have another kind of bigger overall cup and handle. Maybe it'll pull back. Might have some. There is a little bit of room still to go on it. Let me see on the hourly. Well, maybe. I don't know how I feel about that one. I think I'm going to skip it for now. So this one right here, this is interesting right here, ADMA. You'll see it, there was a previous gap right here. There is a gap still right here. So it's $3.63 to $4. There's a gap. This one went right up into the gap and then fell right back down. It is closing above the 50 SMA. I don't like this setup per se. However, there is a gap above, and many times these will try to go. And again, it's a double top right now, so it's not looking so hot at the moment. And lots of volume. So these are the ones that start to get a little bit trickier. Lots of volume, goes up into the gap, fails the gap, may want to continue, but I also don't like these bearish patterns setting up right now. Intraday, you'll see kind of a double top failure, so I'm going to skip it. This one, I don't think I'm going to put this one on. Again, kind of, it's not really holding its highs, but it's a bit overextended on the daily, so I don't like that. L-buy. Now, this is one I might consider putting on, so it's kind of cup and handle-ish. It's holding the 9 EMA. Kind of has this falling wedge on the daily. You can see down kind of right here. It's kind of a falling wedge holding, and you want to see it break out above that 170 area right over in here. And if so, then it's got some room. So it's kind of got this cup and handle-ish. So I'm going to put that one on. Yeah, you can see kind of that falling wedge right up to that 170-ish area. So let me do this. Cup and handle ish, falling wedge on, or flag kind of. I'll just put flag slash wedge on daily. Watch for potential break out with resistance around 170 ish. So L buy. So again, we're looking at this, looking for a pattern, looking for some room to run, looking for it to hold above the moving average lines. So pattern, possible breakout setting up, 30 cents or so to move. Again, you're not trying to capitalize necessarily on all 30 cents, but if you can scalp 10, 15, 20 cents out of it, that ain't bad. So while everybody else tomorrow morning is looking at trade ideas, which again, we do love, you can have a couple of these on watch and be like, oh, okay, well, everybody's watching trade ideas. If this breaks out, maybe I can scalp 10, 15 cents out of it, and then I can go, to ones that are popping up on trade ideas. That's where we use our watch list and trade ideas together. All right, so I'll put L buy. What else we got? So this is a penny stock, a little bit messy, but as you'll see, maybe flagging, setting up for a possible break here. And you can see kind of a left shoulder, head, right shoulder, possible inverse head and shoulders above a $half amount, which we like. So it's above that 50-cent marker. So this one might be setting up for a breakout. You can see some resistance at that 200 SMA, right around the 80s marker. Yeah, this one I like for the pattern. Possible ascending triangle here as well. Right, so you guys can see. So this is the stuff we look for, guys. Hourly chart, ascending triangle. 5-minute chart, you can see, kind of ascending triangle, or you can just kind of left shoulder, head, right shoulder, inverse head and shoulder. So this is a potentially bullish pattern. This is a potentially bullish pattern on the hourly. And then on the daily, kind of a flag being set up right here, potentially bullish pattern with clear, this thing can have some run up to maybe that 80-cent area. So that's the stuff that I like to look for. So that's got some room. Again, it's also a penny stock, so 60 cents up to 80 cents, 20-cent move. If you capitalize in 10, 15 cents out of that, if you get a chance, not bad. So that's why I'm going to put Mara on. I think, isn't Mara Bitcoin as well? I don't remember, either that or biotech. I'm not sure which one they are. All right. So ascending triangle on 1 hour, flag on daily, watch for possible break out with resistance around 200 SMA. All right, so that's Mara. Let me take a look at CASM, CASM. Yeah, see, I see what you're saying, Creed. I'm just not a fan of, I hate these ones that go like this to the side like this, and then you got the crazy little spinning top. It could go. It's just not my style.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a garbage chart all the way, but just on that buyout news, that'd be about the only play for it.
Creed, I love how you have access to the vine. It's so comforting. I love it. So like when I was like going on my rants earlier this morning, and you know, you bring me right back to stocks, Creed. Anytime I go, you're like the good old stock market angel on my shoulder, right? When I start to veer off and I start talking about whatever, you bring me back. I like it. Good stuff.
Just doing what I can, man. Just doing what I can.
So this is Creed. So this is one. So this is where it gets kind of interesting on a stock like CFMS, right? So it's a bit overextended on the daily. It is holding its highs intraday. So it is coming up against resistance, and it is below $1. So like, there's lots of things where you look at this and you're like, I don't know. This has been kind of running. Is it going to hit and reject and fail, or is it going to break out? And if it breaks above $1, it's got room to run. So these are one of those like where I look at this and I'm like, this concerns me right here. However, if it gets above and it breaks above $1, this thing might get a pump for it to move. So I like how it's above moving average lines. I don't like how it's near the 200 SMA and it's right near $1. But there's a chance this thing might, again, when you're looking at day trade, you're a hunter of volatility. If this thing pumps above $1, you know, maybe it pumps up to $1, 10 or 20, and then dumps down, and you can capitalize on some of the move. So typically, in general, I wouldn't necessarily put this one on, but it's getting close to that dollar marker, and it might get a pump out of it. So this is where, what would I put on this one? 89. All right, so watch above, actually 200 SMA. So watch for possible pump over $1 if price can get above 200 SMA. So if price can get above the 200 SMA, watch for possible pump over $1, and then you'd want to see $1 hold. Remember, guys, these are garbaccio stocks, a bunch of garbage. These are penny stocks. They're not great stocks. You're only trying to capitalize on a piece of the move. You're not trying to hit home runs. Don't don't do what I did when I first started out buying penny stocks. I was like, oh, this stock was, here's what I would have done. I would have pulled up CFMS. I would have said, all right, it's 89 cents. Cool, cheap stock. And about a year ago, it was $13.83. So if I just buy like, you know, 10,000 shares of this right now and hold it, then hey, if this thing goes back to $5 or $6 again, I'll make a ton of money, right? That was what I did when I first started buying penny stocks. And does somebody have waves playing in the background? Creed, do you have music, like soft music or waves going on? I feel like it's raining or something I was hearing, or maybe it's the snow on my roof.
No, my mic's dead, but it is raining here. So.
Oh, that's weird. Or maybe it's the snow on my roof. It's snowing out. I don't know. Maybe I was hearing snow fall off my roof. I was like, what the heck was that? So that was my theory when I was buying penny stocks. I would hey, you know, just buy them super cheap and just like, hey, a year ago it's $13. Now it's $1. If I buy 1,000 shares, even 1,000 shares, and it goes up to $10, I made $10,000 on my less than $1,000 investment. Really, that's makes sense, right? Well, in theory, yes, but this thing could easily go from 90 cents back down to 38 cents or down to 0, or, you know, even cheaper. So that's what you need to know. Support resistance patterns. And when we're putting these penny stocks right over on this daily watch list, these are not like your swing trades and hold and try and, you know, hit a home run long term. These are like, hey, if this thing pops above $1, my thought process is, you know, if this thing pumps above $1, it's going to probably very shortly after that dump. Whether that's either that same day or next day, probably no more than 3 days. So you'll see a stock like this. If it breaks above $1, maybe it goes up for a day or two. Maybe it goes up to $5, $6, $7, and then eventually this thing will just dump, right? So again, there's no guarantee this thing will even break $1, but that's just kind of the stuff I'm thinking of when I put this on here. So I'm looking at this. If it breaks above the 200, it needs to hold that $1, that magic dollar amount. If it can't hold the $1, then be careful, very careful. You got to be careful on all these stocks, guys. They're all penny stocks. They're all garbage. But you can trade them and make really good money on them. Just remember, don't get greedy. So at first glance, I would look at this chart and I'd be like, garbage on the daily. It's all over the place. But then I zoom in and right away I see, what do I see? If I put a marker right across here, I can see big left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So I can see an inverse head and shoulders. What do I see over here? Kind of a double top potentially. However, it's still, if I can get above right here, it's still kind of holding its highs, and you can kind of draw your trend line. Kind of, this is why we like TrendSpider, guys. TrendSpider is a super good tool. I still am, I'm still kind of doing old school with drawing them myself, but TrendSpider will do a lot of the stuff for you guys. But you'll see right here, kind of, it's riding moving average lines. If it can get above 860, lots of volume here on the daily. And you can see kind of a bigger overall inverse head and shoulders. And on the hourly, again, still maybe building like an ascending triangle. So possible ascending triangle, possible another ascending triangle, or a cup pattern forming here, as well as on the daily, kind of an inverse head and shoulders. So you have three potentially bullish patterns, and if it can break out, it's got some room to run. You know, there's room for this to run. So so that's what I'm looking for on something like this. And again, it's a little bit higher price of a stock, you know, medium float. So that's kind of like my style. I like these medium to higher floaters that nobody's going to watch in the morning. And then this thing, maybe this thing moves up from 860 up to $9. You know, I'd put a line right at $9 because that's going to be psychological resistance area, right? Whole and half dollar amounts, put it back. It's going to put some resistance right in this area. So in something like this, I might say, okay, well, you know, if this thing's got some room to $9 and the pattern, if it starts riding the moving average lines, let's say you got in above 860 and it held and it broaches near $9, and if the thing rides up, you know, stock rides up towards that $9 area, you know, even if it moves 40 cents, I'm not going to try and get greedy and get all 40 cents. I might try to scalp 10, 15, 20 cents out of it, you know? That's kind of the theory behind what we're looking at here. So, and that's why we also have trade ideas and black box stocks, because those hunt for stocks where if stuff on our watch list takes a while, sometimes it might take 45 minutes or an hour before they'll break out. We'll have trade ideas or black box stocks to find what's running right away. So that if something's not running on our watch list, we might trade something on a scanner and then come back to our watch list. But we'll put, you know, a couple of these on a sidebar chart and Thinkorswim on another screen. Keep an eye on it. So we kind of have a mix of, you know, black box, trade idea stocks, and then our watch list. So inverse head and shoulders on daily. Watch for possible breakout with resistance around $9. CRBP. Just reading a YouTube comment. Chris on YouTube says, does this stuff get easier? I've been trying to learn for a little while now, and I swear it just ain't coming yet. Maybe I'm being impatient. That is the magical question that pretty much all traders, or most of them, have when they first get started. It takes a long time, guys. It takes a long time. You know, remember we try to teach people this. You know, we all want to get into trading stocks and make money, right? But it takes time. This is like we say, treat it like a college education or like you would a job, right? You got to study your butt off. It takes a long time. You got to look at like thousands of charts, right? It doesn't happen overnight. That'll take, if you do this every day, you come in every day, come into the trade room, talk to people, stare at our charts, listen to our streams. That's why we give you the diversity of me, Creed, and Dan, because it gives you different looks. We all see things differently. So then eventually you can kind of see, okay, well, oh, I see the inverse head and shoulders. Like you'll see something like this and you'll be like, that just looks like garbage to me. There's like nothing there. It's just like up and down and sideways and what? But then you zoom in, you can say, okay, here's kind of a head area. You can say kind of a left shoulder. Here's a right shoulder, which is higher than this left shoulder area. And you can see some points right up top here that are resistant. So it's kind of a neck. So you flip that over and it'll be a head and shoulders, right? So you'll start to see this stuff, but it's not going to happen. If you're new overnight, it's going to take you a long time, 6 months, a year. But then you have a skill set that lasts the rest of your life, right? You know, candlesticks, if something, you know, changes 20 years from now trading stocks, it's just going to get easier than candlesticks. You know, technology will make it easier, but you're still going to have support, resistance, and patterns. It's like they're not going to reinvent the wheel, right? Technology will just probably make things easier. That's why candlesticks, patterns, trend lines, super, super important. All right. All right, so this is what I like. Great if you're watching. These are the ones I really like to see. So, it doesn't look like much of a pattern, right? So you can see, though, holding its highs right on the day. Real nice. Like it right up over here. Right around that 1320 marker. So holding its highs on the day. And you can see, you know, stock like this. Let me just kind of, you can even kind of connect these points right over in here. See kind of maybe a rising wedge here. So this may be setting out for holding its highs right near resistance. This thing's got some room to run. What is that? 1322 up to even right around that $14 marker. This is what I ideally like to say. Right in here. So you can see it's probably going to hit some resistance right around that $14 marker. And no coincidence, it's kind of these other areas in the past right in here. So holding its highs, rising wedge, maybe breaking out. If it does, you can see 1320 up to potentially, you know, $14 area. That's got a potential 80-cent move if it breaks out. And it's kind of like a lower, or it's kind of a medium type of float stock. So this is what I really like to see. Holding its highs, maybe looking to break out. Here's a rising wedge pattern. You can see if it breaks out, you know, it's got some room to run. And then let's look at the hourly. Boom. Now you can see right here, hourly, kind of a cup and handle-ish pattern. So if it can hold right in this area here, this might be a cup and handle breakout right up to that. You can see, right? So you look at the hourly. Clear window even on the hourly. That is ideally what I like to look at. This is like, I really like to see stuff like this. Now, again, tomorrow you might wake up and this thing might reject right at, you know, right in here, and then it might dump. You could even see right here, this may be even a cup and handle forming as well right in here, because if it rejects at here, you'd still want to see it hold right around 13 bucks. So right here, you can see kind of a cup. Maybe it'll reject. Maybe it'll pull back to 13 before it breaks out as well. But you guys see these patterns? Possible cup formation forming in a rising wedge might be setting out to break out. Again, if you're new, take our candlesticks course, right? I'll probably bore you over and over and over again with all the patterns, but it'll drill it in your head over and over and over. These patterns, super important. So with that being said, I'm going to add definitely this one on the watch list. This is my favorite so far. So rising wedge daily cup pattern on 1 hour. Watch for possible breakout with resistance around $14. All right, so BZH, put that right over here, BZH. All right, so I think that's going to be good for the daily watch list. I might skip over and do the swing trade watch list now, and maybe I will look at stocks. Let's see. Let me pull up the Dow or the large cap stocks. So guys, when we look at the swing trade watch list, we're looking at the same thing. However, on the swing trade watch list, patterns tend to be a little bit more reliable because they're larger cap stocks and not necessarily the penny stocks that can fail as easily. So the patterns tend to be a little bit more reliable. All right, so right off the bat, I think I like Netflix. So why do I like Netflix? Well, you can see kind of a head, kind of left shoulder, right shoulder-ish. So kind of an inverse head and shoulders. You can also call this a cup and maybe handle. And then you can zoom in and you can see kind of another cup and handle-ish right in here. So this, and it's holding its highs. That is what I really like. I like to see this right here. Because if this thing can break that 360 marker, that's got some room. Maybe even right up to that 370. Maybe even right in here. Maybe 370. Let's take a look at the hourly. Yeah, so even right up to maybe that 365 marker right here. I'd be concerned right about the top of that wick. So that's got $5 to $10 move if that breaks out. And you can see it might be setting up. It could be pulling back a little bit as well. But that's what we're looking at. These holding their highs. You know, the hourly concerns me a little bit right here. Possible double top formation. So you got to keep an eye on this. You want to see this 90. It may push price above. But if it can clear that 360 area, it's got potentially $5 to $10 to move. So I'm going to put that one on. Again, it might not happen tomorrow. But just keep an eye on this. If it can clear that 360, 365 to 370 area, it's got some room to run. Emini says, Netflix is paying $3,000 for full-time binge watchers to watch new content. Oy, oy, oy. By the way, I watched two very interesting but very polar opposite documentaries on Netflix recently. I watched the Fire. Anybody see the Fire Festival documentary? That thing was crazy. Later, Creed. Anybody see the Fire? What was it? Fire Festival. That was apt. Yeah, that was crazy, man. That guy was crazy. So that was really good. Yeah. Spoiler alert, right? Very fascinating how that all happened. It kind of reminds us, I was thinking of the whole Bali thing, right? We laugh and joke about Bali and Instagram models and private jets. Well, that's kind of a, those people that are into that kind of lifestyle, they got a rude awakening with, right, those people that had money to pay, what, $50,000 for a $25,000 for a private yacht with Kylie Jenner or whatever the heck that was. That was crazy. So I watched that one. That was very interesting. And then polar opposite one was Abducted in Plain Sight. I'll choose my word carefully. You're just like, how the heck did that family get so duped? You like, a part of you like, you should feel super awful. And at the same time, it's like, you like feel so bad for the family. And then you feel like they're idiots at the same time. It plays their emotions if you watch that one. It's just crazy. You're watching, you're just like, there's no way that can possibly happen. So it's very conflicting with your emotions when you watch that. So Abducted in Plain Sight, that was pretty crazy as well. So two polar ones. If you want to be like, what the heck, and this is awful, but I don't like a roller coaster of emotion, Abducted in Plain Sight. If you're looking for crazy entertainment and you get enjoyment out of seeing young people get screwed out of money, but they have a crap ton of money to just blow on stupid things like going to some hedonist island, and then you'll get some enjoyment out of it. So, So Netflix, go back to that. What do I want to say this? So, cup and handle-ish on the daily watch for possible break out above 360 with resistance at 365 and 370. Netflix. And then I started watching a couple of the one on what was it called? The Ted Bundy ones? Ted Bundy documentaries. That's pretty crazy as well. But then you keep hearing all these things. People talk about a serial killer, and then the ladies are talking about how hot Ted Bundy was. The dude's a serial killer, like killing people. And then they're talking about how good looking he is. Crazy. Crazy world we live in. Alright, so right here, the video. This one's interesting. Let me see here. So this kind of has another almost inverse head and shoulders-ish. Kind of a head, left shoulder, right shoulder. You can see a neckline kind of moving up. And here you can see right here, moving average lines are trading sideways, maybe holding the moving average lines. See if you can get a push up to that 155 area before it moves up. So you want to see these moving average lines separate and push price up. Let me see on the hourly. It's kind of doing like a... Let's see here. This one may be setting up right here. What's up, Copite? Copite? So, kind of a symmetrical triangle. Maybe trying to move up a little bit. I'd see maybe around that 155 to 160 area if it can hold and move up. You can see up here, my time frames are up here. Here's a 5-minute right up here. Here's an hourly over here. I'm kind of switching between them. Daily right over in here. So this one may have a little bit of move. You can see kind of, let's see, it's kind of inverse head and shoulders-ish. But you can see resistance between 155 and 160. So if this one can move and break out a little bit here, you know, 152 to 155 area, that's a potential maybe $3 potential move before it hits some resistance. Don't love the pattern, but might put that one on to keep an eye on because people were watching that one earlier. Inverse inverse head and shoulders ish on daily. Watch for possible move up with resistance at 155 and 160. NVIDIA. Put that one on here. Have you looked at Rick? Have you looked at TrendSpider for that? That may be able to be done. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Dan's listening or if Creed is. Yeah, maybe look at TrendSpider for that. I haven't delved into TrendSpider yet. I know I'm gonna love it when I use it. I'm still a creature of habit. Obviously, my brain has been so fried the past few months trying to do stuff, get things better for you guys here. But TrendSpider is getting to be pretty hot, so that might be something to look at. Or that's something, you got it. That's something we could also suggest to them. We got a good relationship with them at TrendSpider, so maybe that's something we could suggest if they don't have it. I'm going to try to find one more for you guys here if I can. So this is one I would look at and be like, okay, it's holding its highs on the daily, holding its highs here in a 5 minute. I like that. There's still some room for it to move up, but I get lost where I like to see the patterns. And I mean, so this one, let me see. So it's kind of at the top of the channel on the hourly. You can see right up over in here, kind of pulling back off high of day, maybe setting up, but then let's look at the daily. Kind of at the top of a rising wedge, maybe looking to break out. Those ones make me just a little bit nervous. I don't think I'm going to put that one on. I'm not a huge fan of these rising wedges when they're at the top. I know I put one on earlier. This one would make... This one, I don't know. I'm like a very... Yeah, I don't know if I like it. No. No. I don't know. So this is where I would get torn here. This is oh, this is Boeing. I was thinking that was Bank of America. All right, so that might change my mind on this one a little bit. Let me see. This one may be one. Let me try to... Sometimes it gets a little tricky like this. I go into the hourly and it gets you a little bit better. This one may... This one's kind of a higher price one too. This might be a little bit higher for... Although depending on what options you're trading on this one might be... maybe setting up. Let me say Boeing. But the only thing what I don't like about something like this is with Boeing. Let me see if it's at all-time highs. Yeah, see when it's at all-time highs, this is what I don't like is you don't really have, it's no man's land, so you don't really know how high it can go. So I like to have a reference point, so I'm not going to put that one on. But maybe setting for possible move up. It's just, I like to see something with previous resistance. No. Travelers, let me take a look at this one. So this one's above the 200 SMA. It's kind of doing a rising wedge pattern. Let me see. So maybe trying to break out above the 200 SMA. Let's go into the hourly. Yeah, this one may be moving up here. Maybe kind of flagging here on the hourly. Let's look at the daily again. And it's got some room to go up to maybe that $130 marker. So I might put Travelers on. So, well, let me go a little bit further in. Actually, let me do this. So it's kind of got this rising wedge-ish pattern here, maybe trying to break out of that rising wedge. If it can break out of it, it's got some room up to that $130 marker. So I think I'm going to finish. I'll put Travelers on. All right. So rising wedge on daily. Watch for potential breakout with resistance around $130. All right, so that should complete the watch list. TRV right down over here. So guys, if you're new, if you're not a member of our community, what I'll do is I'll be posting the watch list and the corresponding trade alerts that you see here. I take them and we put them on our watch list each night right over here on our website. If you go to bullishbears.com, right under trading, you'll see watch lists are updated each night over here. When you see the date change, you'll see tomorrow, will say 2/13. You'll click on it, you'll see the watch list here. We put our Thinkorswim import links right over in here. And then for those who are paid members, we put the trade alerts right over in here. And please read about our alerts and how we work all over in here. And you'll see right when this date changes, you'll see the alerts here. So basically each night, guys, you'll see. I mean, now granted, I was talking to you guys for a while, but you'll see how long it took me, 45 minutes to an hour to do this every single day, right? So we go in, we do this each day, we create the alerts. If you guys look at our alerts, they fire off on a close to 90%, if not more, on average each week. So some of them move more than others, but these fire off. You'll see today. Look over here, guys. Right in here under watch list. I did the watch list yesterday, triggered. All of the alerts triggered. Again, some will be better than others, but they trigger, right? So they're firing off. So we're choosing the direction properly, but you'll see if I'll just don't even have to go through all these. I'm sure, one or two were probably decent and the other ones are probably like, go up a little bit and then they kind of go down. But it's better than the direction of these saying, active, meaning they didn't trigger. These ones right here are active. These are all from the ones I just set up here, right? So each day, you would come into our website and you will see, where was I just showing? You take our watch list, you take the links, import them into Thinkorswim, or manually, if you have another broker, E-Trade, or somebody else, this will take you all of 30 seconds to input them in to your watch list, and then you'll just look at these. If you're new, each day, just read this stuff. Look, you'll see we'll do a couple watch list videos, myself, Angel, maybe Creed. You'll see we do watch list videos, and we just go over what we're looking for. You'll see, just watch this video back, and you just look at these, what I just said. If, if you're new, watch it over and over again. And then after tomorrow ends, then you can come in and be like, okay, let's go back to the alerts right over here. Let's see where they went. Let's see where they moved. Look what happens. And then each day you'll see us doing these watch lists. And then, we do our live streaming each day. You can watch us live, if you're a member. And you'll see for a couple hours each day, we'll take these alerts. And then we'll take what's on our watch list and then the scanners. And then we'll do this for a couple hours live. We'll pull this up and be like, okay, here's travelers for our watch list. Let's see what happens tomorrow. We're doing this charting and mentoring real time for you guys. So if you're not a member yet, you can just come right over here to our website, and you could just subscribe right over here. And then we have next level training. So any of you guys, if you're monthly members, we have next level content right here. You can upgrade your membership. We're super inexpensive, guys. We try to make trading affordable for everybody. You'll see we've grown a lot over the past couple years, but you'll see our pricing still very reasonable for trade alerts, watch lists. Look at all of our courses. All of our courses over here. You could take these all for free, and then we have a whole, members only next level training library for upgraded content, and then non-stop streaming, guys. A couple hours each day. You'll see we updated our entire website. Drove me absolutely bonkers, but hopefully you guys like it. I like it so much better. I can't believe we had it the way we did before, but we've noticed nobody seemed to care. It'd be frustrated, but nobody complained, really, very rarely. And then we just upgrade it, and then a lot of people don't say anything. They just go along. So everybody must like what we're offering and not complain much. So we're super appreciative, but you'll see we've upgraded things. Thank you very much. I'm glad you guys like it better. And the streaming chat, it's super nice now. So like we can go in here, we can, stream right from the trade room anytime. Anybody can pop in, kind of that we set up to be mods, and lots more interactive and much better. So you can see a stream and chat all live. Thanks, E-Mini. Appreciate it. Yeah, it was hard to find. Yeah, I know. It was just like the old website was a mess. It was just a mess. So I'm just super glad that it's over and done with. So that's that. So we give a nice team for you guys. We try to give you guys a diverse look. So I'm not trying to be a brokerage account hero. Neither is Dan or Creed. It's not about us. It's about you guys. We're about kind of teaching you guys different looks. You'll see that I'm a different trader than Creed or Dan, and that's good. So some of you guys will come in and you'll be like, I like Lucian, or some people new listening today might be like, who is this idiot that was talking, rambling, going on for a couple hours? I don't like him. And I would say, well, go listen to Dan and Creed. You'll like them much better. All right? So, all right, guys. So hopefully this helped you guys. I'll post this shortly in a bit, and we will see you guys all later. Enjoy.